And in other masjids, maybe if people understand a little bit, they get slower. And I lead the prayer in Washington, D.C., and so after Salah, you get two people. First person says, Aista, Aista, slow down, slow down. And another person says, Tez, and the other person saying, Aista. So it's like, Aista means like slow down, the other person saying speed up. Slow down, speed up, slow down, speed up. And then when I get an equal number of complaints, then I think I'm balanced. When it's like somewhere in the middle. Okay, in those Taraweeh prayers, the Quran is being recited. Every verse of the Quran is meant for our lives. Every verse of Quran needs for the person to sit down. And just like I mentioned to you, the verse, Inna Allah kana alaykum raqiba, you hear it every single Jum'ah prayer, but you may not have paid attention to it till today. And some of you may have paid attention before to it. Now, just something as simple as that. The next verse, usually what happens is that a lot of people have the first page of Surah Al-Baqarah memorized, if you know. They have like the first page of Surah Al-Baqarah, kind of like a person who goes to the gym. They have this like yearly membership. They go the first day, second day, and then 1 week, and then once a month, and then they never go back to the gym anymore. Right? Similarly with memorizing Quran, they memorize like the first page of Surah Al-Baqarah, and kind of like half of the second page, and then they're finished. And so you find a lot of people memorize. After like the first 1-2 ayat of the surah, then it almost enters into this like black hole. People don't understand what's being said. Now the verses, you may hear the statement, indeed, the Quran is Mubarak. It's a blessed book, but that's not why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it. Allah did not reveal it so you get blessings for it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it so that you would contemplate the verses and implement it in your lives. That's the purpose of revelation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarak. The word Mubarak, you see it there? Blessed. Kitab, a book we revealed down for you. Mubarak is its characteristic. But then it's almost like the reciter then says, why, Ya Rabbi, did you reveal this blessed book? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِهِ, so that its verses would be contemplated. And so that meaning of the Quran has to be a part of our lives. And when it becomes a part of our lives, then the person knows how to submit. They know how to go through their lives because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't leave anything out in the Quran. And you will find your answer there if you turn back to the Quran. And inshallah ta'ala, I hope that maybe this would be one of the starts of some very critical tafsir classes so that people can really get a true understanding of what the Quran is saying. In our Islamic school, there's a poster one of the teachers has on her wall, on her classroom door, and it says, how do you live your life when no one is watching except Allah? How do you live your life when no one is watching except Allah? And if you really want to test yourself to see how sincere you are to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's where you test yourself. How do you act when nobody sees you except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I remember I went to Hajj, and you may have heard of the Million Man March, right? On Washington, you've heard of that? I went for Jummah prayer at the Kaaba. And it's actually not a 1,000,000-man Jummah prayer. It's a 2 million man Jummah prayer. Men and women. There's 2 million people there. And the difference between Jummah and say Taraweeh in Ramadan is that in Ramadan, Maghrib, Isha, Taraweeh is at night. So the sun is down, you can pray anywhere. But at Jummah prayer, it's Dhuhr time, the sun is in the middle of the sky, and it'll scorch you unless you have like even a little like slit of shade. You'll be running everywhere trying to find that shade. So you see all these people running around with umbrellas, and you go, ha ha, it's not raining outside. But you don't realize that they're taking those umbrellas for the shade. So anyhow, I wasn't smart enough to bring an umbrella. And I was sitting outside. You're basically praying Jummah prayer. You go 3 hours or 4 hours ahead of time, and you're praying on the highways leading to the Kaaba. You can't get any closer than that. So I'm sitting on the road 3 hours before Jummah prayer. And I'm sitting on the sidewalk. And then I'm looking, I'm like scorching, I'm dying, I'm like melting away. And I remember one of my friends, when we got back to the hotel, he basically was dying out there too. He was telling people, look, I'm staying at the Sheraton. If I fall unconscious, just carry my body over there. right? This is what he was telling his friends. So I was in like a similar situation. So I said to myself, I said, look, we have our hotel room at the Sheraton, really nice. I said, I could watch Jummah prayer on TV if I wanted to, right? Penthouse apartment up there on the roof. I could even look down at the beautiful Kaaba and stuff like that. So I said to myself, well, why don't I do that? Why am I here in the street? There was nobody from my Hajj group. Nobody would know that I was there. So I sat there on the road thinking to myself, why am I here? Why are we here? And really, when you understand the answer, the sweetness of you being Muslim is right there. Is that the reason you're here, when everything is against you, the whole wave of society is going in a different direction, and you're still there, you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you understand that, inshallah ta'ala, I pray that it gives you just that sweetness, that taste of knowing that you're doing something for the sake of Allah, that inshallah it gives you more strength to continue to do things for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I know something like this, just even a simple lecture, I don't think many of you were forced to come. Some of you maybe, but not everybody. Right? And so just that intention, by you coming, you made the intention to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody forced you to do it. And it's those intentions, inshallah, when you claim it and make it your identity, that you want to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will find the means, bi'idhnillah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for you. So in conclusion, I just want to give you this measurement. And bi'idhnillah, I hope it can protect you in the upcoming days. The measurement is that I want you to think of the most respected human in your life. The most respected human in your life. Who is that? Now I'm saying, respected, some people, they might be like, if the Imam sees them, they're like, they don't care if other classmates see them or even other Muslims, but if the Imam sees them, they feel embarrassed, right? Or some people are doing something haram, they're trying to hide out, things like that. Who are the people that you try hiding out from when something haram is being done? I remember actually walking down a street, and there were some Muslim guys in a line to get into a bar. And as I was walking down the street, I told the brother, I said, there better not be any Muslims in this line here. And as I came closer, you could see everybody, they had their heads up, waiting to get into the bar, waiting to get in the bar. And then there was these two guys with their heads totally down. So they knew who I was, I knew who they were, and they were in the line like that. And I just walked by, but actually I was sad that they were embarrassed from me. Wallahi, I was sad. Because that's not, a human shouldn't have that place in a person's life. It should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has that place. So the person that you respect the most, the person that if they were standing there, you would not do what you were doing, say to yourself that I honor Allah more than I honor this human being. I honor Allah Azza wa Jal more than I honor this human. I honor Allah more than I honor this human. And with that, inshallah, when you realize that difference and you place Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the highest possible position in your life, that will be your means to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.